Hello everyone, you're on Spoiler Express and today I'm going to tell you about the film This Is England. This story unfolds in 1983 following 12-year-old English schoolboy Sean Field, who lost his father in the Hocknell War and is embittered at the world. That morning he's rude to a Pakistani shop assistant who won't let him read his unpaid comics and gets into an argument with the school bully Harvey, who first mocks his flared pants and then mentions the boy's father, leading to a fight. After a showdown in the principal's office, Sean is caught by a group of traditional young skinheads, non-racist fans of a certain style of clothing and reggae and ska music. The group's leader, Woody, overhearing the taunts about his cliches, decides to support the boy, invites him to sit down and introduces him to the other guys Milky, Puke, Kez, and Gadget, with whom the boy clashes because he supposedly sat in the big guy's seat. Ultimately, Sean tells the skinheads to get lost, and when he gets home, he tells his mother he can't wear those pants anymore and wants to move, to which she reminds him that his father gave them to him, and they don't have the money to move. The boy continues to hang out alone until one day Gadget pops in, saying they're going hunting, and Woody asks to invite Sean along. Gadget agrees, and soon the gang, dressed as idiots, are heading to abandoned houses with toy guns and tools, aiming to destroy them from the inside. In one of the buildings with an auditorium, the guys ambush Gadget, but he only attacks Sean for this, saying that he wants to take his place in the group. The boy replies that this wasn't his intention, and Woody finally asks the guys to make peace, which they agree to. Sean goes to a shoe store with his mother, insisting he needs Dr. Martens boots, but they don't have his small size, so he has to buy more or less appropriate shoes. The next step in joining the gang is a bald head shave, which the girls from the group help Sean with. Woody, to complete his skinhead look, gives the new guy a Ben Sherman shirt and suspenders. He thus becomes a full-fledged member of the skinhead group, which was mostly occupied with idleness and fooling around. The boy also immediately tries to hit on an 18-year-old girl from the group, Small. However, his mother, seeing her son's new look, takes him to the cafe where his new friends are sitting and criticizes the girl who cut his hair. Otherwise, the woman has no complaints about the group, so she thanks Woody for clothing Sean and supporting her outcast son, and allows him to stay with them. That evening, Woody hosts a party and encourages the new guy to spend some time alone with Small, who he has a crush on. Both the boy and the girl agree, after which the couple takes refuge in the back garden. At that moment, two adult skinheads burst into the group, one of whom turns out to be Combo, a man who served 3 years for Woody and was just released with his buddy Banjo. Combo tells the group a prison story about his conflict with a black guy, from which the group understands that the guy joined the racists in prison, which particularly unnerves Milky and Woody. The very next day, Combo invites the group over for a chat. At home, Combo first asks Milky whether he currently considers his homeland to be England or Jamaica. After receiving the answer about England, he shakes the black guy's hand, after which he begins to talk about the influx of immigrants, which is causing the English to lose subsidized housing and jobs. When the man turns to politics and the futility of the Falkland War, Sean attacks him, saying his father died in it. Combo immediately apologizes to the boy, but then says that the English must defend their roots now, otherwise his father died in vain. Ultimately, the man suggests that only those prepared for street warfare remain in the room, while the rest of the idle partygoers leave. After this, Puke, according to Combo's meeting, Gadget, because Woody always insultingly called him fat, and Sean, who was deeply moved by the words about his father, decide to join him. The man later tells him that he will try to recruit Woody into their group, even though he is not as strong-willed as 12-year-old Sean. Sometime later, a group of skinheads led by Combo arrives outside the city for a meeting of the British National Front. During Chairman Lenny's speech about the influx of immigrants and national pride that must be shed blood, Puck becomes slightly uneasy. On the way home, he cautiously doubts what he's heard at the meeting, causing Combo to throw him out of the car, beat him up, and then suggest he return to Woody. The rest of the gang engages in attacking Pakistanis they encounter on the streets, scrawling racist graffiti on walls and in underpasses, while Combo gives Sean a distinctive tattoo and gives him the English national flag. One day, the boy shows up at a Pakistani man's shop, who did not let him read unpaid comics, and brazenly demanded alcohol and cigarettes from him. When the owner tries to kick him out, a gang of skinheads bursts into the store, threatens the man with machete, and steals everything they can carry while the leader explains to the newcomer that this is now his neighborhood. On Small's birthday, Combo's gang shows up uninvited, ruining the idol of the party. And Woody, Milky, and Puke hurry off. Sean, in turn, having secluded himself with the birthday girl, reminisces about their evening in the garden behind the barn and asks her out, to which she immediately agrees. The next day, Combo ambushed Woody's girlfriend at her work and, after inviting her for a ride, confesses that he can't forget their night before he went to prison and still loves her, to which the girl replies that nothing will work out between them, and she remembers that night with disgust, since she was only 16 at the time. A frustrated Combo is left alone and picks up Milky on the street, telling him he's had a bad day and asks him to get him some weed, which he reluctantly agrees to. Meanwhile, Small comes to pick up Sean, and they go hang out with the other skinheads at their headquarters. The group is enjoying themselves with a board game until Combo and Milky show up. However, the tension quickly abates when the gang gets high with a black guy and listens to reggae on a tape recorder. Eventually, the gadget gets sick, and Small walks him home, and Milky tells Combo that he's a good guy after all, to which the man replies that he was actually a traditional skinhead from the start, without racial prejudices, and, for example, listened to reggae just like the Jamaican. But then Combo asks him to tell the boy about his family, and upon learning that he has a very large family, but that everyone works so hard that there's always food at home, he suddenly becomes enraged. Finally, calling Milk a black man who, unlike him, has everything, he begins to brutally beat him. When the skinhead finishes with the boy, he throws Sean out the door and, in a rage, attacks his buddy Banjo, who also wanted to have sex with the black man. So Combo remains in the apartment with Milk's body, and when Sean returns, he finds a sobbing man who apologizes to the boy and asks the boy to help him take the beaten man to the hospital. Time passes, the war ends, from which some managed to return, and some, like Sean's father, did not. The boy's mother, seeing him with a photo of his father in uniform, says it's his favorite. However, the boy himself says he prefers where he and his family vacationed. The woman tells her son that his friend Milk will recover, and everything will be fine. Meanwhile, Sean, having swapped his skinhead clothes for a denim jacket, goes to the river and brings back the English flag Combo gave him. After which, without hesitation, he throws it into the water.